So, if you've been keeping an eye on the markets lately, you have definitely seen it. That big, sharp drop in AI stocks. It's got everybody talking. But what is really going on here?
I mean, just look at this. This chart really says it all, doesn't it? This is the picture that's got a lot of people spooked. It's making everyone ask that one huge question. Is the AI boom already over?
And this quote pretty much sums up the story you're hearing everywhere. People will tell you, oh, it's just a natural correction, or the hype just got way ahead of reality, or maybe it's just simple profit taking. And you know what? Those are all pretty logical explanations.
But what if this isn't just the market being the market? There's a really different theory being put forward by an AI engineer and Udemy instructor named Michi Uchiyama, and it's a wild one.
Okay, so let's get into this alternative idea. It basically reframes this entire stock drop. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a deliberate, calculated play by some of the biggest players out there.
So this slide lays out the alleged playbook, step by step. First, you've got large investors, and they sell at the peak. They cash out, take their profits. But then, step 2 happens. The stock, against their expectations, keeps going up. So now, they're locked out, right? They can't get back in at a good price. That leads to step 3. They get influential people, big names, to start spreading some doubt, some negative news. And the result? That's step 4. All that negativity drives the price down, creating a brand new artificial entry point for them to buy back in way cheaper. It's a way to engineer a downturn just for their own benefit.
And this, right here, is the bombshell claim from Uchiyama. He's suggesting that these perfectly timed comments from some of the industry's heaviest hitters, well, maybe they're not just opinions. Maybe they're actually tools being used to play the market and create a new bargain price for those who sold too early.
So the main takeaway here, from this point of view, is that what we're all seeing as a bursting bubble is actually a carefully manufactured buying opportunity. The fear that we're all feeling, well, that's the very thing being used to drive the prices down.
All right, so if we entertain this manipulation idea for a second, you have to ask, why would it even work? And that brings us to the next fascinating piece of this puzzle. It's all built on the idea that most of us, the public, even a lot of investors, we just don't get how incredibly early we still are in this whole AI revolution.
And this slide really breaks down the two completely different worlds we're talking about. On one hand, you hear, AI has hit a wall. It's maturing, the explosive growth is done. But the engineer's view? It's the total opposite. We are just getting started. The public doesn't know what's really happening with the tech, and the biggest growth is still ahead. That massive gap in perception, that's what makes this whole manipulation theory even possible.
According to Uchiyama, most of us don't really understand the fundamental tech that's making all this happen, like the transformer architecture. See, this isn't just a slightly better version of old AI. It's a whole new ballgame. It's what allows an AI to understand context and relationships in a way that was literally science fiction a few years ago. It's the engine inside things like ChatGPT. And if you don't understand the engine, how can you possibly know how far the car is going to go?
And listen, this goes way beyond just making better chatbots. The real, unseen demand, that's coming from places like robotics. I mean, think about what it takes to train a robot to actually see and interact with the real world. The amount of data and pure computing power needed is just staggering. There are next-gen algorithms like GRPO that are making AI smarter and faster behind the scenes. And honestly, most of us have no idea these incredible leaps are even happening. And this leads us to maybe the most mind-blowing part of this whole theory, a vision of the future that says today isn't the end of a boom. It's the very beginning of a whole new technological age.
Uchiyama uses this really powerful analogy. Thinking that AI has peaked right now is kind of like being back in the days of AM radio and thinking, well, that's it, technology's complete. You'd have absolutely no clue that television, color TV, and eventually streaming video on the internet were all just around the corner.
So let that sink in. The idea here is that these amazing tools we have today, like ChatGPT, which feels so revolutionary, in the grand scheme of things, they're just the AM radio moment. We've just taken our first big step out of the Morse code phase of AI. And if you think that sounds big, the scale of what's being planned for the next step is just astronomical. The source for this theory, Michi Uchiyama, he points to actual FCC filings from SpaceX for a system of up to 1 million satellites. 1 million. And what for? To create a massive data center in orbit, all to power the next generation of AI. That is the internet video moment that most of us don't even see coming.
So, if we follow this engineer's theory, if
we just go with it for a moment, what does this all mean? What's the real takeaway from this big market downturn?
Well, here's the ultimate conclusion. The argument is that the transformation AI will bring to our economy and our society, it won't just be bigger than the internet revolution, it will be orders of magnitude greater. And if that's true, it completely flips the script, doesn't it? The whole story of crisis and collapse becomes a story of unbelievable, undervalued potential. The stock plunge isn't an ending, it's an invitation to get in.
Which leaves us with this one giant question. Are we just watching the inevitable end of a hype cycle? Or are we being distracted while the smartest people in the room get themselves set for the next and much, much bigger wave? It's definitely something to think about.